You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV.
Mama, you're kind. Mama, you're beautiful. Mama, you're good. Mama, you're wonderful. No woman like you, Mama. No woman like you, Mama. Thank God for you, Mama. Thank God for you, Mama. 'Cause you gave me life. Oh, Mama. Queen of my life. Oh, Mama. I go love you for life. Oh, Mama. 'Cause you love me so. Oh, Mama. From small begin, I never forget all the suffer when you suffer for me. Oh yeah, yeah. All the pain and the troubles where I put you through. I remember when money no be there and chop no be there for her. You be the try your best. You go run around to find us something where we go chop. When I dey sick, you know the sleep. You go the cry all night. You go hold me tight, start to pray, say God make you help my oh Lord. Ooh, I will yeah chama. I funga na better yeah funga chama. I'm bombing na better yeah bomb chama. Enga na chinyu yeah ga chama. Mama, I will yeah chama. I funga na better yeah funga chama. I'm bombing na better yeah bomb chama. Enga na chinyu yeah ga chama. Yeah ga chama, mama. Enga na chinyu yeah ga chama. Chinyu yeah ga chama. You gave me life, oh Mama, queen of my life, oh Mama, I will love you for life, oh Mama, 'cause you love me so, oh Mama. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, shekelelelele. Ale mama, you're my motivation. You gave me the best education, mama. The song where I sing I'm for you, now it's special dedication to you. Oh yeah, I know say every night and day you pray say meka mama. The God where you the pray I'm for heaven, don't give me this inspiration, mama. The song where I sing I'm for you, now to show my appreciation to you. Who be a warrior, yeah, chama. I funga na better, yeah, funga chama. I'm bombing na better, yeah, bomb chama. Engana chinum yeah ga.
Hello. This is my Patience Abiedu, the Secretary of State of the Women's Department of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Let me seize this opportunity to greet everyone, starting with those in the home front, those in ground one, and everyone all over the diaspora watching us at this moment. Our host, Ma Rachel, is under the weather, and we thought that we should come spend some time with you today, like we do every Friday. So today with me is going to be this press secretary lady, Casey, who should be joining any moment now. And we hope you will stay tuned the whole 1.5 hours. We have a lot to talk about. Today we'll be talking about the very, very successful October 1st celebrations all over our territory. We also will talk about the president's terrific speech, wonderful speech. And we will also explain to every single Ambazonia why federation is not an option for us Southern Cameroonians. In fact, it sounds silly. We just celebrated our Independence Day, and there are some people talking about federation. So we will just cover all those topics today. And stay tuned, share the link with others, and please you're welcome, and happy belated October 1st. Happy belated Independence Day. Thank you so much. Lady Casey, are you around? Have you joined yet?
Fellow citizens, victory is near, but more sacrifice is needed. Let us not relent in our pursuit of freedom. Let me rehearse you the dream I have for Ambazonia. In my lifetime as your president, God willing, the Ambazonian flag shall fly the skies of Buea and be hosted at Abemukon Square. The Ambazonian dollar shall be soon used to buy gari and water fufu in Awing or Ekombe. The Ambazonian army shall march on the streets of Kumba and Kumbo with pride and respect. The Ambazonian anthem shall be played in stadia across Limbe and Bamenda. Ambazonian patriots shall open stock exchanges in Kumba, in Mamfe, and in Bamenda. The Ambazonian passport shall be highly respected as #1 travel document in Africa. Ambazonian regulators shall issue licenses and patents to all corporate bodies wishing to do business in Ambazonia without discrimination, without bribery, without corruption. Ambazonian cassava and red oil shall feed the world. Ambazonian National Guards shall parade the seaports of Tico and Victoria, the airports of Bisongabang, Bali, and Santa. Ambazonian goods and services shall be sold and exchanged in the international markets. And Ambazonian technology shall provide the engine to the African economy. Ambazonian schools shall be the citadel of global education. Ambazonian mothers shall give birth to Ambazonian kings and queens in hospitals built and funded by the Ambazonian government. Ambazonian agriculture, produce, and manufacturing centers shall be life givers and savers, even in French Cameroon. Ambazonian engineers shall connect Mamfe and Bamenda with standard gauge and high-speed trains. Honor to our heroes. Viva our valiant Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And God bless our beautiful nation. Thank you.
You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV.
Hello, so sorry about that interjection. Sorry about the slight technical problem we have. But at least we got to see the president's speech a little bit. So again, welcome to the Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman. Today, Ma Rachel is not with us because she's under the weather. I'm hoping that she'll be able to resume her show with you all next Friday. Today we have with us the press secretary, Lady Casey, who is going to join us in this conversation today. The purpose of the Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, is to keep that constant communication with those of you in the home front, those in ground one, and all over the diaspora. Um, we say that we are here because you are there. And so please join on, share the link, and stay tuned for a wonderful show today. Today, we'll be visiting three main topics. We will talk about the very, very successful October 1st celebrations we had a few days ago all over our territory. We will talk about the president's wonderful speech of October 1st, a speech that covered the past, the present, and the future. And we'll also talk about why federation is not an option and should never be an option. So without further ado, I want to welcome Lady Casey Klesa King, the press secretary to the Horizon. Lady Casey?
So much, Mape. Hope you can hear me. Thanks for having me today, and I'm so honored to be part of this Ambazonia Women's Voice program this evening.
Thank you so much. I hear you 5 on 5. And so let's start with the October 1st celebration. You saw the beautiful videos and pictures from all over our territory that this fifth year, maybe people don't realize, this is the fifth year that we are celebrating this wonderful day in our history. On October 1st, 2017, the first year when our restoration was, when we restored our restoration, when our independence was restored, the then President Seseku in New York, visiting New York, made that speech there in New York. And all over the territory, in Ambazonia, in most states in the United States of America and in Europe, people really gathered together and celebrated this day. Let's just even think about how significant this day is. There was a time in our history that even talking about federation was a taboo. You know, you cannot talk about federation in La République du Cameroon, that time that we were considered one people, one nation. But now we're talking about independence. We have restored our independence. Lady Casey, what can you say about this very, very important day?
Thank you so much, Mape. You know, 1st of October, I mean, the significance and what it means and our day of independence. You mentioned when our our independence was restored by our former president, Siseko Ayotabe. You know, that was a moment where all Ambazonians came out and celebrated and acknowledged the fact that we begged, more or less begged La Republic for federation because we considered ourselves as one nation. We were civil enough. We were so civil and with so much dignity and respect that we thought we could operate in our identity, in our values, within La Republic confines. But they show so much disregard, so much disrespect, so much dehumanize our people. I mean, we take from there when the civil society stood up asking for basic respect of their dignity and basic human rights and how they were treated. How people of high status in society, like lawyers and people of great influence on our children, like teachers, were treated. And we know how the Agbobalas, they ended up in jail because they asked just to be respected with our identity, with our culture, with our values, just for that to be recognized and respected as it was supposed to be when the so-called federation was initially initiated in the 60s. Now we have come this far when we have now realized that they had no regard, no respect, and no iota of, you know, value for us and as a people, as a nation, and as people with their own values and identity and with their own unique way of operating and doing life. And since they have shown us consistently, our people said enough is enough. We saw what 22nd of September 2017, how the people came out. We also saw the barbaric response for the French Cameroon, showing who they are, who exactly they are, and why we cannot continue to be with them. You know, we've come this far, and I'm just taking us through this memory lane to realize that Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians have come so far for us to believe that we could manage, you know, a relationship, cohabitation as core federation with La République du Cameroon, but all they met our people with barbarism, wickedness, evil, and share. I mean, with so much wickedness and destruction, trying to destroy everything and anything Ambazonia, and they have continuously doing that. And when I see a Southern an Ambazonia or anyone from a Southern Cameroon origin not understanding the significance of 1st of October, it baffles me. So, but looking at the videos and the pictures of the recent celebrations, it comes to tell any doubters, anybody who does not believe, I call them all Ambazonia unbelievers, anybody who is not convicted about our liberation, about our freedom, to know that there is no other option. Our independence, we have come, we have restored it, and we are living in the reality of our liberation, and in spirit and in truth, and it would manifest in the physical in no time. Thank you, Mape.
I just realized that you took us back down memory lane. And this is so important because it is a fact that if if the La Republic government had just listened to the teachers and lawyers in 2016, when they made just those little demands, is very, very, very likely. I would say it's 100% likely that we will not be here where we are today, because they would have taken into consideration the thing that was very, very much in concern for our people, the education and the legal system. If they had just fixed those two problems. But then you have to ask the question, why didn't they? Why didn't they? They did not, because we are not important as a people. If we get it in our heads that what they value most is our land, not the people, and you go back and you remember how we've been treated in every business, every government office that has somebody that is from the former British Southern Commons, they are always minimized throughout the existence of that union since 1961 when they took over. They have always minimized us, looked low down on us. We have never been equal. And so, why would they even listen to mere lawyers and teachers? How dare lawyers and teachers go on a strike and demand things? That's what is going through their head. Who the hell do you think you are asking for things like that? So, they will decide to ignore us and kill us. So, I am so thankful that the leadership that has moved from the consortium to SCACUF to the governing council and then to the Federal Republic of Ambazonia knew that it was time There's time for everything. That's what it says in the Bible. There's time for everything. So that was the moment that we knew that enough was enough. That was the moment we knew that we're not going back to slavery, to servitude, to be second-class citizens, special status citizens. That was a moment. It was a defining moment. And I know some people, those who are on the fence, who always say that one I think, do not realize that that one I think is the thing that will make their children and their great grandchildren have a better life in the land that they can call their own. Lady Casey, you and I live in the diaspora. We may feel comfortable here for now, but it's not home.
No.
Home is where we can be free because we know inherently that that's where our forefathers came from. That's where our forefathers settled, So this fight, that is by the never again generation, has gone this far because it's following two basic things: the truth and justice. And with those two words, the truth and justice, there's no way that we can relent. There's no way that we can abandon that beautiful land that God gave us. And there's no way that we can forget that our children deserve better. They deserve better than we have. Our forefathers. Lady Casey, I came across this. There's something that I came across. I still have to read it. My husband has a lot of things. If I go through my garage, I see a lot of things that I say, oh my goodness, I came across something. It says, look at this, the restoration of the state of West Cameroon. The restoration of the state of West Cameroon. I still have to read through it. The final solution of the Anglophone Cameroon question. This thing was written in 1991. And in it, because I've not had time to read it yet, if you look at the content, let me just say this so that you can even opine on it. The content has, following the cessation of the Republic of Cameroon from the Union, when will the West Cameroon government be reinstated? That's one chapter. Following the cessation of the Republic of Cameroon from the Union, when will the West Cameroon government be reinstated? Number two, in the midst of the confused state of political affairs in Cameroon, where do the English-speaking Cameroonians belong? Number three chapter, when dialogue is meaningless. Number four, message from Donga Bimbia. Number five, open letter to the Anglophone students. Number six, Anglophone, a stooge for Francophone administration. And then the last chapter, 20th May National Day, what significance? I am looking forward to reading this because it's really telling us that our fight goes back. It didn't just start now. And that's what people don't realize. Lady Casey, what can you say by what I just read to you?
Marpe, let me just just fit in something in those topics. Every one of them is basically probably have details of what I was trying to say. That the Ambazonian story we started in the 60s. As soon as the fraud was done in Fumban, our people realized, and they started doing everything within their ability to separate this union. Everything that is said there, Anglophone, they stooge in a La République office, and that is what it is. They used and abandoned the Anglophones that decided to stand with the Francophone against the Ambazonians, against the people of Southern Cameroons. They are basically as tools, as tissues, as I know this like sponge. They used to wash their plates and they dump them when they are now useless. That is who they are. If they like, they don't believe it. If they like, they don't know. They will see. They have seen all those. I want to drift away from our significant on 1st of October just because of this book that you have mentioned, which is so important that, Ambazonians, we should write our story. We should write our struggle. We should be the one to tell our story, and we should be the one to pen down what we are going through, because nobody would say our struggles and our story for us more than us, because we have these experiences. We know what we stand for and what is important to us Amazonians. Just looking at those topics you have read, it just shows that any individual of Southern Cameroon origin, that's how I like to put it. There are a lot of people of Southern Cameroon origin that don't believe, that are now Anglophones. They are now behaving like Anglophones in the French, within the French Cameroon context. They are of no value to the French Cameroon, either the people, the system. On they are only useful if they can be a tool to oppress us, to
Yeah.
keep us in bondage, and that's their only use there. So, we can now just slightly move into the reason why federation can never, or is not even, I mean, did we not try federation? What was
Yeah.
the union? The union was a federated union. How was it abolished? Did they seek the consent of the Southern Cameroonians? We know no. We know all the shenanigans that happened. So this is an opportunity where anybody listening to us this evening should to reflect and say that there is no package message. There is no thing that La Republique can offer or can say or do now that should make you believe or think that they have any interest in your well-being, in your dignity, in your values, or even in your survival in this life. So as the Southern Cameroonians, another thing I will conclude with based on that book is that when dialogue is no longer necessary, that's why what did we ask? We started with peaceful protest, civil disobedience. How did the guns enter the matter? La Republique showed us that they have refused to listen. That Southern Cameroonian voice, our Ambazonian's voice, does not matter. So we have to face them accordingly. And that is why, as much as we are facing them, we are also prepared for dialogue, because as a civilized people and people with dignity that we are not going to be, enter the rabbit hole with our republic. We will defend ourselves because they got into our lands. They kill our people, burn thousands of villages, and they have killed over 50,000 of Southern Cameroonians. And anybody think federation is even up for discussion? I don't think so. And nobody of a right mind from Southern Cameroon should be thinking or talking about that, because over 60 years now, they have shown us consistently with hundreds of examples out there that they have no interest in our well-being. They have no interest in our existence unless it's used to benefit them, unless it is used to profit their systems and economic and their political status quo, which now this never again generation have come to say not anymore, not anymore. And we will keep. And 1st of October, oh my goodness, it was motivating. See,
Yeah.
Amazonians are determined and they are ready. They are ready for their independence. You know why, Mappy? Because
Yes.
we have seen all levels of betrayal. That means when I don't think the betrayal Southern Cameroons have experienced, or the Ambazonia, especially the interim government, have experienced, is almost like the betrayal of Satan doing to Jesus, to God in heaven. Honestly, we have experienced all level of betrayal, everything that would discourage our people, but you came out strong. I mean, they came out strong on 1st of October and tell us that they are ready. They are ready for their independence. That La Republic have killed our babies, our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters too much for us to think and even imagine that federating with such barbarisms, with such evil, wicked set of people who have no regard for us, is even something we should even still be talking about at this point in time. So we should now be buying our sticks and granules quietly and doing defending ourselves from this barbarism and defending our territory until it is physically totally restored. Thank you.
You said it so well, Lady Casey. You said it so well. The technician played one set one video where people were marching, and we have so many of those all over the that took place on that October 1st. There's so many, and it looks like every year you're seeing more and more of people getting brave enough to do that. Um, you have people of all ages, the young, the old, men and women, boys and girls, really coming out and marching and singing that the anthem. You know that anthem, "Hail, hail, hail, this land of glory, we the Ambazonians." It's so telling because you're already embracing that you're an Ambazonian. You're not a La Republic. I don't even remember how to sing La Republic anthem anymore. That's how bad it is. I've just forgotten that anthem, which I used to be proud of singing. So now my new anthem, as well as all those people that march every day, "Hail, hail, hail, the land of glory," means we are gone. We are free people. We are free inside us. We are free in our minds. It's just a matter of time to have total ownership of our land. So it's just sometimes you're afraid for the people that how can they come out and march? Maybe they will get murdered. You know, you can never trust La Republic. But they were brave enough in their conscience, their gut. They realize that it's a day to celebrate. Look at that. Look at that.
Absolutely.
So they believe, and it's something that uh, even those who are staying in cities in Yaoundé and Douala in French Cameroon, many of them believe the same, but they dare not go out and do the same thing. Because you know that we live, like here in the United States that we live, when it's a holiday in Mexico, the Mexicans can freely celebrate Mexico holiday. They will not feel bad, right? Because
Yeah.
Mexico is a country that is respected, and the United States of America cannot come and tell them, don't celebrate Mexico holiday. So there will be a time where Southern Cameroonians living in La Republic, when it's October 1st, will celebrate October 1st because it's Ambazonia's Independence Day. Ladies, you get to make it right because
Yes.
it's so important that no matter where you live, that is a holiday that you own. That is your people's day. So whether you're living in La Republique du Cameroon, you're living in Europe, you're living in the the Americas, you should be able to celebrate that day freely, freely. So I make this to say that we are prisoners. Those who are Southern Cameroonians living in La Republique are prisoners because they believe that they are free. They believe in that day, but they dare not celebrate it because they will be captured and they will be killed.
And Mappy, I just
Anyway,
wanted to add.
go ahead.
I don't know if you're finished.
No, I'm not.
You
I'm
mentioned
finished for now. Go ahead.
okay. You mentioned that these are people are brave. Their bravery, I don't know if there's a limitation in English sometimes. It doesn't really capture the spirit of the moment when you try to express it. They are beyond brave because when I saw those images from 1st of October celebration on a home front, I know for sure. Like I was so uplifted. I was so like it was a joyful thing for me to see that the conviction and the belief in our restoration is still deeply rooted in our people because one of the things that this is so important to me is because La Republic's strategy is to torture and torment our people to believe that they're suffering that they will suffer in fighting for their liberation and for their freedom is going to be more than them suffered under La République administration. That's what the French Cameroon and France and La République are trying to achieve. And that's why they have been torturing and killing our people, burning their house, destroying their properties, destroying, I mean, killing randomly, recklessly, and in such careless, abandoned manner, knowing that our people will feel like the suffering for their restoration is too much, so they will rather manage. Quite a few of Southern Cameroonians have said, make statements like that. But this 1st of October celebration made me to realize that our people know what is up. Our people know that the only way is the only way, and that the only way is our total restoration and liberation from the claws of France and French Cameroon. Because if we look at it across Africa, African countries who are under French administration are all leaving France, and only La
Yeah.
République, as they have decided to remain under French. And we as Southern Cameroonian Ambazonians, we have grown past that, and we have come to the realization that we are taking our future, our destiny into our hands and into the power, because we want our children to not experience this barbarism, this evil, and this wickedness. So those images from the 1st of October celebration gave me so much. I think I had a better sleep that 1st of October night. Honestly, it was an amazing sight to behold, and knowing that our people with this level of braveness, I don't believe anybody in the diaspora should have an excuse. Like, you cannot make an excuse why you are not participating. And why I don't use the word contributing to the struggle, because beyond contribution, there are several ways to participate in this our liberation struggle. Not making an excuse, not thinking is yeah it's comfortable. I remember in 2008, I used to say on the one on this TV, was SCBC at the time, and I said, nobody should think that the consequences of war will not affect you because you are not part of it. We are all Southern Cameroonians, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you are home front, the effects of this liberation struggle, you will feel it one way or the other. So the only way for you, the effect not to be useless or painful, or you lose for nothing, is to get fully involved and fully participating in our liberation struggle genuinely.
Absolutely, Lady Casey. Absolutely. I am in a forum, in my alma mater forum, that has so many people. And also in that forum, I get information about different aspects. Some people genuinely believe that we should stay as one Cameroon. Some genuinely believe that we should go our separate ways. And we are just having this conversation because we're going to be moving into the topic of why federation is not an option. And when you think about it, because those who have heard me speak before know that I used to, when this struggle started in 2016, in my mind then I was thinking that, oh, there's no problem with federation. That should be the easy solution. And I had this reason without really having understood our history that well, because it's only after this struggle, this problem that I did a lot of reading. And I think that's the case with most people. I really think that most of those people that are on the fence, if they were to read the history and understand what has happened to us, I don't understand why they would even think about federation, to be honest with you. And when I was thinking that federation is a possibility, it should be a solution, and then we started seeing images of our people being burnt, Mami Api. We saw how President, I should not even call him president, we saw the president of La République du Cameroon, the dictator, how he treated our people, how he waged war on that November 30th, 2017, and all the different experiences. Now you start thinking about the things that we've lost as a people. the banking system, our great hospitals, our great roads, Santa Estate Marketing Board, the airports. I mean, I used to fly. My parents used to fly me from Yaoundé to Bali in those small planes in those days. Where are they? You think about all those things. I think let's listen to this audio video, and then we can talk more. Go ahead, technician. You can go ahead and play it.
It's 1st October. Happy Federation Day. A new state, the Federal Republic of Cameroon, was born on this day. One nation, federated. All Cameroonians had every reason to celebrate this historic day every 1st October as Federation Day, their true national day.
The 1st of October is therefore a very important day in Cameroon. On this day, the contract of reunification between the Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon came into force. The foundation of our living together as one nation with two different systems was laid down. The protection of each heritage, which was equal in status, was guaranteed.
Suddenly, the foundations of our nation were shaken by an unconstitutional referendum of May 20, 1972. The federal system was replaced by a highly centralized unitary state in which one of our two protected heritages sought to suppress and assimilate the other.
Critics of this change knew exactly the harm that the change would do to Anglophones in this country. The change emboldened domination, then marginalization, and now assimilation of Anglophones. To hide this fraud, they imposed another farce, the infamous 20th May, as the new National Day. They turned us into people who shamelessly celebrate their form of state as a national day.
Confused unitary state with national unity and demonized federalism, our founding system, as an alien concept. Today, we see the damning consequences of these lies and injustices everywhere. Our country is facing many governance challenges. Addressing them requires that we return to the federal system of government with full protection once again for each of our two heritages in all fields.
The Cameroon Federation must be restored. The needs of Cameroonians cannot be satisfied by separation, nor by any form of the unitary state.
Restoring the Federation also means restoring 1st October as our national day. The return to federalism is inescapable. Therefore, the Federalists can start celebrating today. 1st October is Federation Day.
Federalism is the future. It is a future that we have to fight for. Join the CCFGA to carry on this fight. Attend our monthly meetings, which are held on the fourth Sunday of every month. Together, we must fight for the immediate re-establishment of federalism in this country. I am Benjamin Aki. I am very proud to be a Federalist. Happy Federation Day.
I am Defo Richard, proud to be a Federalist. Happy Federation Day.
I am Dr. Simon Munzu, proud to be Federalist. Happy Federation Day.
I am Michael Takia, proud to be a Federalist. and I wish you a happy Federation Day.
I am Atemken Peter. I am proud to be a Federalist. Happy Federation Day.
You know, I somehow hesitated playing this because I didn't want to give free advertisement to these people, but I think it's important. I think it's important to play it and really talk about it so people understand what is at
Where we're
stake
coming
here.
from.
Because now they suddenly have a voice. They suddenly have a voice to even offer the word Happy Federation Day. Where were they 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago? Where were they, these individuals or supporters of these individuals? Why didn't we see a movement of people pushing for federation as strongly as they could so that it would have existed? They wait till 2022 when over 50,000 Ambazonians have been killed, and then they talk about federation. Let's go about it one by one when what they started saying. Dr. Munze talking about how federation was born on the 1st of October 1961. But I don't know whether he realized that on that day, even our forefathers, Foncha and all everybody then realized that something went awry that day when La Republique Army came in our territory and started abusing our people for that very first day.
Yeah.
The abuse already started. So it was already a doomed situation. And then think about it. From that 1961 to 1972, things that had happened where the government was suddenly moved from Buea to Yaoundé. You know, I remember that as a child because my father was working in Buea, and then suddenly he had to be moved to Yaoundé. And that one day, they were not sure what was happening in Yaoundé. So they sent me to the village to spend 1 year with my grandmother. Thank God for that, because that made me to learn our language a little bit. So I benefited for that 1 year staying with my grandmother. But that transition happened because something was not going right. That federation had already failed. Otherwise, Buea would have still been the capital with everything happening in Buea. People didn't have to leave Buea to Yaoundé to start looking for documents or things like that. So there was no federation from the very beginning. There was already a recolonization from the very beginning with France. You know, Lady Casey, that cooperation agreement of 1959, just before La Republique had their independence on January 1st, 1960. That cooperation agreement was December 1959. France had already seen everything. They've already seen the wealth, the oil that we had in our land. So that federation was already a farce from the beginning. And then you have people that are supposed to be sensible, that have some common sense, coming right now in 2021, proudly saying that they are a federalists. You know, let me have you speak because so we can go back and forth. Go ahead, Lady Casey.
Oh my God, I'm just laughing because they are comedians. They are quite funny. To come up with this gross level of intellectual dishonesty, hypocrisy in the highest order, evil and wickedness in high places, to even utter and put their shameless faces in public talking such atrocious things about Southern Cameroon and restoring federation. And they know how it failed. They know how, that, that is what is beyond me in the minds of such men who are supposed to be reasonable or educated or exposed. And I don't have a
Yeah, I
problem with
agree
their
for the show.
opinions. But they should not try in any form or in any manner
Okay.
to come
Lady
and
Casey,
twist our history. Yes.
I have a caller on the line. So let me just hear what he wants to say and then you can continue. I'll put him on
Okay.
caller, what is your name?
Yeah, Marasha, bless you all. Education, bless you. This is Yom Pintaba.
Okay.
I saw the ad that was played, and my heart was beating like it was going to fall off because, like you rightly said, you really had to play it as though it would look like you're advertising for them. But it was good you played so that we can be able to talk about it. You know, let me tell every one of them that made such unreasonable and unfounded statements that there had never been any federation before. There was never a federation that ever even existed. You know, when people say a return to federation, they don't even understand that we never had a federal state with La Republic. We never federated before. Because if there was a federation, Mama, you just gave an example that your dad was moved to Yaoundé.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a federation, there was no need for anybody moving. We live in the United States. We live in countries that practice federation. The economy of each federal state is proceeds, is determined the way of usage by that state, and they send a percentage to the federal government. I'm in Texas. Texas, you don't come and take everything in Texas to DC and you say you are in a federation. There was never a federation. A federation that was, I think they had something on paper that never existed in physical. And the Muslims are not ashamed, and all of those people there are not ashamed to see that we live there and they pay taxes in Douala.
Right.
And yet they cannot even talk about that. Which federal system operates like that? It doesn't exist like that. See, Biya himself said it in Paris that there was never a federation, because when he made that excuse or that allegation, or when he made that statement that we have tried to assimilate them for all these years and it has failed, it tells you that when they took us to Yaoundé, they were not going there for a federation. They went there to assimilate us. And that's why he confessed with his own mouth that the assimilation process failed. And so it is foolishness to any Amazonian, whether you are eating from the pockets of La Republic, sitting in Yaoundé or in Douala, to go out there and talk about a federation that never existed. What can they attribute, or what can they show to the people of Ambazonia that we ever live in a federation? Absolutely. There is nothing that has ever existed between Ambazonia and La Republic that was that shows how federal states live. So there is nothing to show. There was never a federation. There is nothing like return to a federation because it never existed. So let them stop dreaming. It's either a free Amazonia or no federal states to be talked about, because we have never existed in a federal government. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take all of your time. God bless you.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you. Yes, Lady Casey. You said it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean, he just took some of the words out of my mouth. Like I was saying, that the gross intellectual dishonesty, the shamelessness of these men, I mean, is beyond words. I can say it better in my dialect because it gives it better expression to the disgusting nature of these guys. Understanding the things that Pastor Victor have just explained. It's not that they don't know, but just show how evil and wicked and clout chasing. What can I don't even know how to describe such monstrous expressions that came out from their mouth, knowing the history, knowing the truth, knowing the reality of the Anglophones or the Southern Cameroonians or the people of the Southern Cameroon's origin, now known as Ambazonians. They know the facts, they know the truth, they know the reality, but they are too wicked and evil to acknowledge and relate to reality and fact, because they are looking to line their pockets with this French agenda to dilute our history, to misguide our people, to make our people feel like, because we know, like Pastor Victor explained, that there was never a federation, if it didn't exist. It was only on paper. The whole intention between France and Britain selling out Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians was never to federate. French people, French government, they were going in to assimilate our people. Like what Victor has reminded us, that even French Cameroon leader said they wanted to assimilate, and it has failed. And if these men with this level, with shamelessness in their face, with they lack any dignity and integrity to even come up and make such proud nonsense that they are proud of about the people of Southern Cameroon, then it just shows that, that's what I explained earlier, that the evil and the wickedness and the level of betrayal that the people of Southern Cameroon have experienced since they realized the sham of a federation or the sham of a union with La Republique, that have experienced from the Anglophones, because the Anglophones are those who are part of La Republique, have some English in their line. That that betrayal, and our people still came out 1st of October and showed that that is not distracting them. They know what it is. They know what they want is total restoration of our territory and total separation and cut off from French Cameroon clause. And that's how I call it, because they plan to assimilate us and they have done everything. I don't know about you, but when I went to I was in Kumba. I do not what it's called now. I went to get vaccinated to travel, and everybody in that clinic, all they spoke was French, and I was so irritated. I always get irritated. I never attended one single French class after Form 2. When I never attended single French class, because my point was, the so-called president at the time of Cameroon does not speak English. Why should I learn French? And that was it for me. So what I'm just trying to say is that these guys have come out knowing the reality, knowing the truth, and they choose to be so dishonest, to be so evil and so wicked against the people, talking about they want to restore a non-existent federation. And we have I started by also explaining how La Republic have treated us, because we were gentlemen and gentle ladies. We were civilized and very civil, and in our approach, we respected their own identity and ideals. And we approached them like brothers, like human beings, and said, let's talk about this system that doesn't favor both of us. And how have they treated us? Even if we want to think of federation, when I think of Bamiapi, I think of Baby Mata. Never in my lifetime. Hey, as far as what I just want to tell Ambazonians is that we are gone. Any other story is story. Any other thing is just talk. Because we have not just come this far to just come this far and talk about nonsense federation with La Republique. They have destroyed every institution of Southern Cameroon that was surviving and sustaining the people. They have destroyed our value. In Southern Cameroon, they know our culture, our cultural music does not go far. It only remains within the tribe. But they have made everybody in the Cameroons dance to be could see. They have made everybody in the Cameroon do all the Douala dance. But we have great musicians like Beme Manga. We know our great musicians that have sung beautiful songs, from Manu, from Fako, even from Mezam. That hasn't gone anywhere, because they have done everything to limit how far we can go within the Cameroons. So it is time for every Southern Cameroonian, stop being dishonest to yourselves, stop being so wicked and evil and being such a hypocrite in a beyond description, and try to think that federation, there's somewhere in federation that now that they believe that they would is only by guns. Because also another point is that, remember, as civilized as we are, there was negotiation initiated by America, Canada, and the Swiss was leading it. Who pulled out of it? La Republique. Just to show that they believe that they want to defeat us, they want to conquer us, they think we are a conquered people, that they can just conquer us by guns. And we are here talking about federation with people who are determined to kill all of us and destroy everything of Southern Cameroon. Is a total madness. Thank you, Mape.
And bring this thing that I mentioned from the very beginning. Because if in 1991, they were only complaining about restoring the state of West Cameroon, that meant that something went awry. There was no federation in the first place, right?
Exactly.
Why will our forefathers, want to go back? This thing was, now that I look about it, it was written by Albert Mukong. We really have to have time to dissect this. This is a very important piece of literature right here. So they already realized that things had failed. You said something that I want to even bring back, talk about some more. That from the very get-go, when they had told us after the plebiscite that we can get our independence by either joining La République or joining Nigeria, and we decided to join La République du Cameroon. So on that October 1st, then, if things had gone according to what we thought, and the former British Southern Cameroons, which came under the new construct as East Cameroon and West Cameroon, would have been equal partners in everything, in every way, right? They would just have their central government for defense purpose. But in terms of administration, we would continue doing what we're doing, that we'd already done for a decade. Remember, from 1954, we self-administered ourselves. We're a democracy. We're very accomplished people. We're learning very fast, very enterprising. We would have just continued. And we had one of the best educational systems. People were coming from Ghana to be educated in our systems. I used to talk to people about some of the technical schools we had, like Ombe and all the like. People came there for training. So if a federation is supposed to be something that you less of what you were before you joined the federation, how can you want something like that? Because we became less and less until now we are nothing. No, we should have been shining and growing. We should have continued having the great institutions that we had, the great corporations that we had. Our land is so fertile. Remember all that coffee estate, now they're gone. I used to be a child. When I go to the village in Santa, they had beautiful, flourishing estates of Santa coffee all over the place. Every family had land with coffee that the people harvested, and was a source of income to send their kids to school. That is all gone. So how can you join another country as to be a federal system, and then now you become as impoverished and you become less than you were before you joined it? Because it was never the goal for you to flourish. It was always a goal to assimilate you, as Lady Casey has said, as the previous caller said, Pastor Victor has said that over and over again. And we must remember that all this is happening because of that cooperation agreement between La République du Cameroon and France. They knew all of them. They had their plans all along that go plan together as if you're together. But as time go on, you finally just pull the rug under them, because that's what they did, pull the rug under us, and then take their land. That's what they're after. So for people, learned people, to come and make a video professing that they want federation, despite the fact, something that is even funny, they did not have a voice before. They could not even utter that word federation before. But now that Ambazonians have been bold enough and restored their independence and are singing an anthem, then they think that they can say the word federation. Where were they 10 years ago? Why couldn't they use the word federation in their land 10 years ago? You know why? They would have been captured and locked somewhere else. So now they are bold enough to say it because they think that it's a place where La République will embrace. Who told them that La République will give them federation? We don't want federation. And those are people that have family members that have been affected by this. We've had All this scorched earth policy that has raised our land. People live in those villages, those 500 villages that have been burned down. People lived there before. They were surviving, taking care of their families, their kids. Where are those people? They're refugees, they're IDPs. Those of our people that are refugees in neighboring Nigeria, they are suffering. They've left their homes where they had a place where they can have 3 meals a day, because we're just hardworking people. We have food in our backyards. Now they are suffering in a neighboring country, and if they see 1 meal a day, they are happy. And you come and talk about federation? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All of them. Some of them were talking about this. Peter Akemchet said that there was the contract of unification was as a foundation that we had. What contract of unification? What the heck is he talking about? Did he see a contract between Southern Cameroons, the former British Southern Cameroons, and La Republic that they wanted to be one? Did he see that? I've never seen one, so I don't know what he's talking about. And then they suddenly want to say October 1st is they should celebrate October 1st now. Where were their voices before in the past how many decades where they could not talk? Mursi has been around for a long time. Did he just suddenly discover his voice to talk about federation? So we've made these people emboldened. You know that they've become bold because of the fact that we, the people that are fighting for independence, as fighting for independence, and they think that they can get the easy way out and talk about federation. Federation is a loser. As we've heard, we were never a federal system. So you cannot go back to something that never existed. Now you can go back to something that you had before. 1954 to 61, we were a thriving democracy. We will go back to that. We've gone back to that. We're just waiting for international recognition, which will happen. I just didn't want to give them free publicity, but for people to know, our people to know that there are some people that are thinking like that. And you should not listen to them. You should never listen to them. Stand your ground. We are staying the course. We will have that land for our children, our great-grandchildren. Nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely, Mape. Absolutely. And like you mentioned, they only have a voice because Ambazonia exists, because our Ambazonia restoration fighters exist. They only have a voice because La Republic have come to respect us. They know that we are no longer a walk over anymore. They have come. Remember when we started, they said they will be hungry and they will go back to work. They will be hungry. They thought we will remain the beggars because they have created a system where they have impoverished our people and we were just begging to survive within the francophone structures and administrations, and we'll be begging them in our office. Every anglophone and every Southern Cameroonians will need a godfather to be able to penetrate or walk through the systems. I don't know anybody recall how our parents struggled. So some of them, their pensions were never paid because they don't know anybody in Yaoundé. So those things that they have experienced. And for this guy, these men, they are the reason. If you see men like that, they are the reason why the white man or Africa is still the way it is. If you wonder why every part of the world is thriving, is leveraging power, is if you see people of that characteristics, people of that manner, just look them as an example. Is the reason why the black man's place in the world they still lack that global respect. Those are the kind of people, that example of the kind of people that exist within the African continent that makes Africa and the black man not well respected because they don't know who they are. They don't want to accept the reality. They want to pretend that they don't know. They don't know the situation of things just to put themselves in a position to benefit their individual selves. That's the reason. So when I see people like that, I just know that when they are used and abandoned, and that's what, like Mape said, no Southern Cameroonians, no Ambazonians should listen to any individual like that. That is
I have one more. Okay, I think that Pastor Victor is calling back for more contribution. Let me put him on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. To be candid, if I may ask, when was this advert out? This thing you played, when did you lay hands on it?
I laid hands on it just last week. I saw it in one of the forum I belong to.
Okay, so it's something that happened this year, 2022?
Yes, it's recent, yes.
Wow.
Nice.
You know why I'm saying that is because, like you people have said rightly from there, we have now given them a voice to speak. If you ask Monzo, would you have talked about federation 10 years ago, 5 years ago, without being arrested and shot in jail? Now, when this revolution began, Nkomo Agbobala gave them a prophecy which they did not respect it because they did not value him. Even though at the end of the day, he himself cannot stand to his own words. He told them that, you know, these people are crying for a federal state now. You are not listening to them. A time is going to come where you'll be begging them for the federation and they will not want to take it anymore. I want to tell the Republic, this is that time.
Yes.
And what you see happening now, they have sent these people to come and try the waters.
Yes.
That advert was to try the waters to see whether can Ambazonia embrace that. Because that's what the Republic is already begging for right now. But we want to announce to them that it is too late. You will not kill close to 50,000 Ambazonians, then come to give them, throw them, like I would say, come and throw them a bowl of federation for them to fight over. We have gone past that level, you know. And we want to let our Republic know through all of these people who came and made that advert that it will not work. That advert was to try the waters to see whether our people will start jumping around to say, oh yeah, let's go for federation. And that is where I think I really stand with Lady Casey saying these people are very, very dishonest to themselves, and we pray that their consciences will give them no peace, no rest, because this is witchcraft in daylight. You know the truth, but you will not want to speak it. You know the suffering of the people of Southern Cameroon. We have fought this far, and you know very well that the Republic has no choice but for us to separate. Now they have paid them and sent them out to come and say, oh, tell them that it's not a problem to celebrate 1st of October, but let's celebrate it and say Happy Federation Day. That is stupidity of first category.
Yeah.
Federation took place on 1st October. Did the United Nations talk about any federation on 1st of October? 1st of October recorded our independence, not the federation. And like I said earlier, there has been never a federation between us and them. And so what we just want them to know is that the water they came to try, we want to tell them it has failed already. And thank God, thank you, Mama, for this show, because it is really exposing some of these things. I didn't even hear about this, and sometimes when you hear some of these things, try to connect with me, because when I go on my show too, I can be able to talk about them.
Thank
I
you.
don't know there was a trash like this kind of trash. So when I heard that, I was telling you, was panicking. Where is this coming from? And I thought it was an old picture. It was an old advert, maybe in the 50s or sorry, in the 70s.
No.
I didn't know it was something that happened in 2022. So we are telling them it is not going to work. You are trying to cajole Ambazonians, especially the gullible ones, to think that we can fall for a federation. And what we want to tell that cabal is that if you are afraid to rule Ambazonia as an independent nation, we have good leaders, better than you people, that are chickening out to go and be running as a federal state with a republic. We have reasonable, strong, educated, eloquent leaders in Ambazonia that will rule Ambazonia as a nation on its own and not as a federation under the republic or with a republic. Thank you so much. And thanks for taking my call again.
Thank you so much, Pastor Vito. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
I mean
wow,
that's a
wow.
great. I mean, I was just admiring that video that was playing while Pastor Victor was talking, and I would just
Yes,
also add to what Pastor Victor said that it's total trash, and it's really something to think that it was in the 70s, and that is absolutely. But that's why I say that these guys, their evil and wickedness and the level of dishonesty and hypocrisy is beyond explanation. So as they have had their day, the restoration fighter has given them the voice to think they can come and talk. But that is that what like Pastor Victor mentioned, is certainly a La Republic strategy to try and water down, because they have done everything to water down our efforts. They have fought so people should go to school. They tried all our civil disobedience, our ghost towns. They have fought it. They have used useless people like these ones to come out and try to minimize the significance of our independence, but it will not work. It has failed already, because our people were marching, singing Amazonian anthem, carrying our flags, and that is, I always say, we Amazonians, we are free already. We just need to totally take control and administration of our territory, our people, and our land, because the people, we have a territory, we have a country, we have a land, we have people with their distinct identity and cultural diversity within the Amazonia, and we have our anthem, and that's already made us a independent nation. So anything else is for the world to start relating to us Amazonian in that capacity, and that's the direction we are going. All these people who think they can come now in 2022, when we have lost and sacrificed blood and sweat for our independence, just because we wanted to be respected as a nation and as a people. And the French Cameroon and La République du Cameroon have decided to met an extreme wickedness and barbarism on our people, and some useless individuals, don't have, but for lack of better words to describe their witchcraft and wickedness, and came out to say, is no, we know what 1st of October means to us. It's our Independence Day, and there's nothing La Republic we concoct at this moment, and they should know that, because they try national ballot or whatever they call it. They have tried all kind of things. They create DDR. They've created things that have failed. They don't know that the spirit of Ambazonian liberation and freedom is on the rise, and it is heading to the destination that is meant to be. That there is no French crookery that they have always done from the days of colonialism till now. The French crookery and wickedness and force that they have always used, it's not going to work on Ambazonia. We have passed that level. We have passed, and I don't care. France should know that there is nothing they will do that is going to stop Ambazonia from getting their independence, as that's going to
nothing.
stop us, because we are on track. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone is seeing it. We are moving ahead. It has been rocky, it has been tough, but Mape, you said it nicely. We are staying the course, and that's just final. We are staying the course until we are totally and completely and finally restored. So then La Republic should concoct all this strategy. Why we talked about these things is for our people to know, to understand that there is no other way for your survival today and tomorrow other than total restoration and liberation of Ambazonia. There is no other option. Maybe you are thinking, La Republic have punished our people a lot. They have dealt and killed and destroyed so much. Our people are suffering as IDPs, as refugees across the world, and in neighboring country to Ambazonia, and they are there suffering. So La Republic is bringing these few useless individuals to come and think that our people will say, rather than that suffering for their independence, they should just accept federation. Maybe now from 1 meal a day, they will not have two. We are no longer eating crumbs. They are no longer throwing us bones for us to fight. Those days have passed. Those days have passed. Anything La Republic within Ambazonia should be destroyed completely. And anything, including humans, should be destroyed in our territory, because it is time to start cleaning and sweeping all French La Republique influence within our territory. because there is no way we are going to think that we can federate with such people who over 60 years have shown us consistently that their whole intention was to francophonize and annex and assimilate Ambazonians. So this whole debates and argument for them, France or French Cameroon trying to bring this handful of individuals, think they will come and distract us from our focus, from our goal, or convince some of the gullible Ambazonians. Every Ambazonian child know the truth. Every those days we have mentally left La Republique, and that's one thing that's so satisfying. You mentioned, you look at those videos, there's people and Ambazonians of all ages. I notice you have another call.
I think so too. What happened? I think got disconnected.
Okay,
Let
the
me
caller
see.
should call
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah, the caller should call again. So we have
yeah.
Amazonia of all ages which know our reality and know our struggle. So we are now at this point in time where we need to be buying our sticks and granite, and we are also ready. Amazonia intellectuals are also ready to have a equal conversation with Arab, how we are going to separate peaceful and quietly, because they have destroyed Ambazonians a lot. Because we cannot give up defending ourselves. We are in our territory, defending our territory and defending ourselves from the barbarism, wickedness of La Republic. And these people cannot come and tell us to one federation from people who have destroyed all the institutions that sustains our people, all the organizations and institutions that was surviving our people. I don't know anybody who grew up within the CDC. If you know the CDCs in the 80s and 90s and what it is now, it is nothing to write home about. They first of
Exactly.
all have moved the head office to Yaoundé. So you know that they have no interest to give us any survivor or any life, anything of survival, or anything for our livelihood. And you cannot come and tell us with people who have deliberately put us in poverty, deliberately destroy every thing that is of value or of importance to the Southern Cameroonians, to the Amazonian, for us to consider fate. I cannot even bring it out anymore, because it's unimaginable, and we've lost so much and we have come this far. 1st of October showed us that we are on track, we are on the right direction, we have the right men and women at home front defending our territory. We are
Amen.
just imploring, talking, we are just having this conversation so that every Ambazonian, every Southern Cameroonian who is opportune to listen to us today or any other time, to understand that it is your own time to live in that consciousness of the restoration of Ambazonia. Because some of you waver, some of these kind of people can distract you because you have not come to live in the consciousness of a liberated Amazonia. If you live in the consciousness of a liberated Amazonia, everything around you will walk in that liberation of Ambazonia. You will understand how to participate, how to get involved, how to be conscious of the security details. Because some of the deaths, some of the people that have been killed, some of the recklessness of some Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians that have seen that they got killed, is because they lack the consciousness of the liberated Amazonia. They lack the consciousness to live in our freedom, and now we are in the stage of fighting it to restore it. So every Southern Cameroonians, every Ambazonia, our home front in particular,
Hi,
the
caller.
call, yeah.
Are you calling to contribute? Okay, this
Oh,
person
it's
doesn't
cut
have
again.
good internet. It keeps on breaking off.
Oh,
Try again. Try
yes.
again.
They
Yeah.
should keep trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
I would just
Lady
say that
Case.
everyone should live in that consciousness, because it is really important. When you live in that consciousness, you will know what to do at what time. And can go on, Mappy. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to be going to the final part of the show to talk about the president's speech, which really is more of telling us there's a lot to hope for the future. But before we
Mm-hmm.
get there, I just want to make this statement. I just want to capture it the best way I can. That the take-home message is that there is no advantage of federation over independence, none whatsoever.
Absolutely. None.
There is no advantage of federation over independence. So it should not even be an option.
Yeah.
Please, Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, listen. There is no advantage of federation over independence. If you have to put the two side by side and compare them, independence wins full blown. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from? Can you hear me? Disconnected. Too bad.
Okay.
Let me see if I can call them back. Yeah, so it is really a message for us to understand that there's no, let me call the person directly and see if that will help.
We can carry on. Maybe
Yes,
they
no
don't
problem.
even.
Yeah, so they probably have internet problems. Anyway, so if we take that take-home message that there's no hello, you're connected. Yes. Where are you calling from? Good evening. You want to contribute to the show?
Yeah, I want to contribute in the show.
Okay, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I really want to thank you people for the wonderful thing you people are doing to get Ambazonians educated. I really feel the passion in Lady Casey. That's amazing. It shows how Ambazonian she is. It's rather unfortunate that we have people like Dr. Munzu who have worked at the UN and know the truth about independence of Ambazonia, and yet he comes on air and talks trash. Well, let them wait and see. I just begin to wonder where they will be by the time we'll be celebrating in Boya with our blue and white flag up. Yeah, they are intellectually dishonest. Yes. To be candid, just like Lady Casey says, is witchcraft in the daytime. Yeah? So people like that are stooges. They are working for the Republic. And just like as you said, they are like trying to see how the people are going to react. It's rather unfortunate that their eyes are wide open and yet they are blind. To see that even at war, people come out to march on the 1st of October celebrating the Independence Day. And you begin to talk of Federation Day. What nonsense! I want to thank you people for the wonderful education that you are giving the people of Ambazonia. We are waiting, and it's sooner than later we will celebrate in Boya. We will celebrate our independence to their total chagrin. God bless you people for the wonderful program. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, Lady Casey. Yeah, people just have to be educated. And as we now move towards the end of the show, we want to even now tell people why this independence that we are fighting for, what the future holds. And to get into that, I don't know whether the technician can play the president's speech of October 1st that highlights this beautiful country that we are fighting for. If the technician is hearing me, let them do so. But in the meantime,
let me play the excerpt. The excerpt they played at the beginning.
Yes.
Our quest for restoration and recognition to bury the hatchet and come back on board. Fellow citizens, victory is near, but more sacrifice is needed. Let us not relent in our pursuit of freedom. Let me rehearse you the dream I have for Ambazonia. In my lifetime as your president, God willing, the Ambazonian flag shall fly the skies of Boya and be hosted at Abemukon Square. The Ambazonian dollar shall be soon used to buy gari and water fufu in Awing. or Ekombe. The Ambazonian army shall march on the streets of Kumba and Kumbo with pride and respect. The Ambazonian anthem shall be played in stadia across Limbe and Bamenda. Ambazonian patriots shall open stock exchanges in Kumba, in Mamfe, and in Bamenda. The Ambazonian passport shall be highly respected as #1 travel document in Africa. Ambazonian regulators shall issue licenses and patents to all corporate bodies wishing to do business in Ambazonia without discrimination, without bribery, without corruption. Ambazonian cassava and red oil shall feed the world. Ambazonian National Guards shall parade the seaports of Tico and Victoria, the airports of Bisongabang, Bali, and Santa. Ambazonian goods and services shall be sold and exchanged in the international markets. And Ambazonian technology shall provide the engine to the African economy. Ambazonian schools shall be the citadel of global education. Ambazonian mothers shall give birth to Ambazonian kings and queens in hospitals built and funded by the Ambazonian government. Ambazonian agriculture, produce, and manufacturing centers shall be life givers and savers, even in French Cameroon. Ambazonian engineers shall connect Mamfe and Bamenda with standard gauge and high-speed trains. Honor to our heroes. Viva our valiant Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. God bless.
Thank you so much. Before you talk, Lady Casey, I just want to even just say these few words, which really applies to our anthem. I think people should always go back to our anthem and just listen to the words. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We, the Ambazonians, pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the heroes who bore the land with their blood. Glory to glory we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation of joy forevermore. Ambazonia, Ambazonia, land of freedom. You shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above, the Most High God being the watchman of this nation. I say that to combine it with what the president has said, that Ambazonia that we will get eventually, that will be free to roam as our own land, will be the land flowing with milk and honey, will be a land with opportunity for everybody. The president went through a list of things. The flags will be flown in every city. We'll have the money that we control, not the CFA that is controlled by La Republique and France. We'll have our anthem play in all our stadiums when we have games. In Victoria, in Bamenda, in Boya, in Bisongabang, in the villages, we'll have our own anthem, this anthem that I just talked about. We'll have business, there will be a social reengineering. Social reengineering meaning that we have so many, our human resources so vast, and we have very many talented people, and new jobs will be created so that people will be able to have ownership of these jobs and make a living for their family. The president mentioned about cassava and red oil that will be able to feed other African nations. President talked about goods and services sold, in other markets in Africa and in the Americas and in Europe. Technology, we have so many talented Ambazonians. For goodness, they're all over the diaspora right now. All those talents will be harnessed in Ambazonia to build roads and hospitals and airports that will be used by Ambazonian. It will be a government by the people, for the people. Lady Casey, I can go on and on. Please go ahead, my dear.
Yes, and all these glorious things. The president started before he mentioned all these things. And he said something. He said, we have done so well, but a lot more sacrifice is needed. So I just want to focus on the fact that we can achieve so much, even more than the president articulated in his speech. But the sacrifice is needed, and the sacrifice is needed from every single Amazonian across the globe. That sacrifice is needed. And this is the reason, this is a call that there is hope. And there is hope when we put in the energy, when we put in the sacrifice to create our future. We should look at China. China 20 years ago is not the China today. China 20 years ago was in poverty, was in it was a poor country. But what is China today? So that is what the president is saying, that there is so much potential, there is so much hope for an Ambazonia, there is so much hope for Ambazonia, the nation. But what do we need to do? We need to make the necessary, the required sacrifice. We should not chicken out like all those useless men who were making statements earlier in that video we played. No, we should all become with conviction, with passion, with purpose, with intention, with focus, most importantly, on the goal to build this future, to build this hope, to build this dream for Ambazonia, for our children, for the nation, and to be an example to other African countries, to be an example, to be a nation where people will look at our systems. Now, a lot of other countries in the world copy the British system, the American system. I always say, for example, Nigeria is almost a similar system run like America, because I've seen that it works for the people to an extent. Everything needs improvement, but this is what Ambazonia needs to be. We need to create what works for our people, by our people. And this is the dream, and this is what we require every Southern Cameroonian to understand, that it is not the time. The president was just making that speech, which was so full of hope, that this is not the time for us to start making excuses. This is not the time for us to start blaming and not blaming somebody or the system. This is the time for every Ambazonian to focus, to put in the required sacrifice for our liberation, for our total liberation from the French Cameroon. So every Southern Cameroonian, every Ambazonian should come together and put in the sacrifice so that we can build this future for our children, for ourselves, for our territory, and for our land, and put it in a position where it's working for the people, is giving hope and light, and the milk and honey. We know, our territory is the most fertile land in the whole of Africa. Is one of the most fertile land for agriculture. It's fertile for construction. There is nothing you want to do in Ambazonia that will not thrive, that will not flourish. And what we need is to create that environment, because French Cameroon have suffocated all our resources, have suffocated and extorted and destroyed everything that is profitable and beneficial to our people. And this is why we cannot come and talk anything else than our total liberation, so that we can build this dream and hope that the president has tirelessly, day and night, bringing people together, leading the ship to see that our restoration fighters get what they need to defend our territory, and so eventually free our land, so we can build the hope and dream of our people. Thank you, Mape.
Yes, thank you, Lady Casey. We're going to be ending the show in a few minutes from now. But there's one thing that I just want to focus on, that the reason we Southern Cameroonians will be able to do everything that the president mentioned in his speech, the reason that we know that we have to stay the course and fight for it, is because the economic agenda has to be based on 5 things. the economic agenda for that country, the five pillars that are incorporated in the president's speech is: one, the value for money, because we'll have our own money, and the best value for that money, which will be measured across all relevant other countries, will propel us. So we'll have our own currency. Number two, we will be the people that can do open and effective competition. When there's competition, there's chance of growth. People want to compete to make themselves look the best, to make whatever they develop look the best. Ambazonians will have that competitive market. Number three, we have ethics and it already in our system. We have the ethics show coming up already. If we practice ethics and fair dealings, then we are bound to succeed in everything that we do. And then, of course, part of this ethics is accountability in reporting. So there will be accountability and reporting the right thing. And finally, equity, where people have the possibility, they have the choices, they have the everything their way, meaning that they have the opportunities. That's what I'm looking for, to get what one person does, you have the opportunity to do. It's not just limited for the few wealthy people. No, that equity will make us be a nation to reckon with. So the economic agenda for Amazonia will make us the best country in Africa and the world. We will be like Rwanda, or even better than Rwanda. So these people that are talking about federation, they don't know what they are talking about. Without I don't know if Lady Casey, you want to give your closing remarks, because we have to end the show in a few minutes. The ethics show is coming up soon. So give your closing remarks. And I just want to thank everybody that has been here and that has been able to share, join to share their comments today. We had a great time. And there's really more. This our journey to Boya. We have to just keep on connecting with the people so that they understand. They don't get mixed messages. And before I make you give your closing remarks, we have some people that were part of this government. The president has said that people can come back. If you were there following the commenters and the Chris Arnos and Marianta, because you had wrong information, it's not too late to come back home. Just come back, go to your LGAs and get reintegrated. You know how to contribute financially and with your talent and your time. Just join the wagon. Let's connect and go to that boya together. But those who are there that have a different motive, that have a different goal to sell us to La Republic, well, you know that God that we serve is a just God, and you will not succeed. You'll fail into so many difficulties. There's something that I always believe in called karma. Karma comes in different ways. Karma comes in ways that your health could be affected, family members of yours could be affected, loved ones could be affected, you could be affected financially. That is for God to give you, not me to give you. But then you know what you're doing. If you have a conscience, you will know that you're on the wrong path, and you will correct your ways and come home. Lady Casey, your closing remarks, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mafe, for having me today. And thank you, all Amazonians that have been listening to us from the start of the show, and those watching us on all the various social media platforms, on the website and on the satellite. Thank you all for joining this women's program. And we pray Mara Rachel have speedy recovery, so she'll be back with you sooner than later. And I would just want to round up saying that Mape have just mentioned that anybody who was misled, who was misinformed, who made decisions out of the wrong information, they train to Ambazonia. The flight is still moving. Join, and the doors are wide and wide open. I have said this in other many ways in my comments tonight. I have said that there is no excuse. There's no reason, considering how far we have come, considering how much we have achieved so far, considering the determination shown by the people on home front in the 1st of October celebration. I mean, there's so much to consider, to put yourself in line with the purpose and of the people, in line with the dream of Ambazonia, and that's the total restoration and liberation of our territory and our people and values. So this is where we are, and this is how we are moving forward, and we have come so far, and we can only go ahead. And for all the Ambazonian believers, the restoration of Ambazonia is non-negotiable. It is a certainty. That's one thing I believe the day I first of all left my house to protest in front of French embassy in London. What took me out of my house was a conviction, and it has not changed since 2016. It was a conviction of the restoration of Ambazonia, because I knew since 2007 that no matter the silence, no matter the oppression of French Cameroon to torture us into silence, into submission, into living as one nation with them, it will never work. Wiba told them, Agbobala told them, and now we are close to that reality, and we cannot give up now. Don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed, don't be confused, and just join the trade, join your LGA. There's an excellent structure that is working and is serving Ambazonia restoration quest at this point in time, and you should join your LGA and participate accordingly. Thank you all once again, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Lady Casey. Let me seize this opportunity to thank everyone that has been with us today, from the home front, from ground one, and all over the diaspora. On behalf of the host, Ma Rachel of the Horizon, I say thank you all. And again, we pray that she has a speedy recovery so that she can be with you next week. Just a recap, we went today talking about how we had a very successful Independence Day, October 1st. We talked about how we appreciate everybody that went out to celebrate, because it shows that you are Oh, sorry about that. The music came when I was still speaking. I just want to say thank you all. Without further ado, we had the president's closing remark about the country we are fighting for. And finally, there is no advantage of federation over independence. And so we stay the course until we get total control of our land. And that beautiful land is ours and nobody else. Leave the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV.
Mutumbu, mama yo, na ya boy go get her. Blue Jay Brothers. Mama yo kind, mama you're beautiful, mama you good, mama you're wonderful. No woman like you, mama. No woman like you, mama. Thank God for you, mama. Thank God for you, mama. 'Cause you gave me life, oh mama. Queen of my life, oh mama. I go love you for life, oh mama. 'Cause you love me so, oh mama. Never forget all the suffer when you suffer for me. Oh yeah, yeah. All the pain and the troubles where I put you through. I remember when money no be there and chop no be there for her. You be the try your best. You go run around to find us something where we go chop. When I dey sick, you know the sleep. You go dey cry all night. You go hold me tight, stand say God make you have my oh Lord. Ooh, I will yeah choma. I funga na better yeah funga choma. I'm bomba na better yeah bomba choma. Inga na chinu ya ga choma. Mama I will yeah choma. I funga na better yeah funga choma. I'm bomba na better yeah bomba choma. Inga na chinu ya ga choma. Inga choma mama. Inga na chinu ya ga choma. Chinu ya ga choma. Mama, queen of my life. Oh, mama, I will love you for life. Oh, mama, 'cause you love me so. Oh, mama. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, shekelelelele. Ale mama, you're my motivation. You gave me the best education, mama. The song where I sing I'm for you, now it's special dedication to you. Oh yeah, I know say every night and day you pray say meka mama. The God where you the pray I'm for heaven, don't give me this inspiration, mama. The song where I sing I'm for you, now to show my appreciation to you. Be a warrior, choma. I funga na better, yeah, funga choma.